Hey everybody, it's Paul Molinari from Popcorn GTM, and this is Modern Solutions for Modern Restaurants. Welcome to 2026, people. And 2026 is going to be a special year on so many levels. But one thing that I thought was extremely exciting that as a Long Island kid, man, I'm just psyched that bagels, bagels, baby, bagels are making a comeback in a big way. So, what I want to talk about today is the tech fueled rise of pop up bagels. God bless them, pop up bagels, and the bagel boom of 2026. So, let's start off with this. There is a quiet revolution happening in breakfast culture this year, and it's not a new invention. Bagels, yes, the humble torus of dough but reimagined for a modern market, a modern pace, a modern economy. And at the center of this moment, there's this little company called Popup Bagels. And it's a brand that grew from like a backyard bagel stall to this like viral cultural phenomenon with dozens of storefronts now and plans for literally hundreds of more. I had an opportunity recently. I was in New York City. I have kids that go to school there for college, and we were walking by the campus and around Washington Square Park, and in the morning, and I was like, "Oh my God, you guys have a pop-up bagels!" And my daughter was like, "Oh, you know pop-up bagel?" I'm like, "Yeah, I know. These guys are like crushing it." She's like, "Well, we have to go get some." I'm like, "Okay, cool." So of course, there's a line. There's literally a line. This is I think it was a Saturday morning, and there was a line going out the door, and I'm like, this. We're in New York City. There is no shortage of bagels anywhere, and there was a line going out the door for pop-up bagels. So I had to stand in line. And lo and behold, we finally get in there. And guess what? You can't just buy a bagel. You got to buy packs. I'll talk about more about that in a second. Let's just say that these guys have figured out a way to optimize the system in a way that I was it was very impressive. So let's talk about more about this phenomenon. Because what's really striking about pop-up's rise really isn't just the hype; it's how the brand embraces technology. And as mentioned, scalable systems, right? That fuels their growth in the category, long dominated by tradition. Bagels is old. Bagels are old. So here's the thing: pop-up bagels began in 2020 as a single pop-up concept in Connecticut, of all places. The founders sharing bagels with neighbors and friends. And I think we'll see. I think we're going to see a lot more of these bagel concepts because of COVID. All of a sudden, you had people in the house, in their homes, and they're baking. They're baking more, and they're experimenting. And guess what? This isn't the first. This isn't the first instance of a bagel brand born out of COVID. There's another one called Jeff's Bagel Run. We'll talk about that later. But since this gentleman started creating bagels in his own kitchen and started sharing them with friends, the brand has since expanded to permanent locations, as mentioned, in New York, Connecticut, even here in Boston, and beyond. And it has signed a pipeline for 300 franchise units across 10 states. That's phenomenal growth. So, and this isn't the typical bagel shop that opened a second location because someone's aunt liked the cream cheese. No, it's a national expansion play, and tech is woven into its success. So let's talk about why technology still matters in a no-frills bagel shop. Pop-up Bagels doesn't just shout about cutting-edge ovens or custom operation platforms, but its model depends on modern operational and customer-facing technologies that are now table stakes for food concepts scaling fast. What are these? What are these customer-facing technologies? Well, as you'd expect, digital order and pickup systems. Most pop-up bagel shops support online ordering and pre-orders to reduce wait times and improve throughput, an essential feature when you're serving hot bagels on demand across multiple markets. Another thing they do is real-time demand data. So even without proprietary engineering teams, brands like Popup use off-the-shelf analytics, POS data, order timing, online demand patterns, all of these things to understand traffic flows, the busiest selling windows, how to staff efficiently based on real customer data. Of course, they also employ a loyalty and engagement apps. So whether they're integrated into third-party platforms or their own mobile presence, digital rewards, push notifications, weekly rotating schmears, and pre-order reminders help turn one-time visitors into repeat customers. Get those loyalty apps going, folks. And finally, what can you do? What can you do for a new brand nowadays if you don't have social and influencer platforms as part of the tech infrastructure? Right? So Popup Bagels' explosive growth is almost inseparable from social media technology. It's not just as marketing, but as a data channel that informs location decisions, menu experimentation, and even hype cycles, right? So viral TikTok videos and Instagram feeds basically serve as real-time feedback mechanism on consumer behavior and sentiment. And the key insight, I think, for this in 2026 is food brands no longer scale solely on ovens and recipes, right? They scale on data, digital experiences, and integrated commerce systems. That's how you're able to go from 10 to hundreds. Here's a thing about Popup that kind of took me by surprise. As mentioned, I'm in the store in New York City, and I was thinking I was going to get like a toasted bagel, with bacon, egg, and cheese or whatever. Nope, no bacon, egg, and cheese here. This is the grip, rip, and dip phenomenon, kids. One of Popup Bagel's signature moments is the grip, rip, and dip experience. That's where customers tear warm bagels, and by the way, they were warm, which is nice. Tear warm, whole bagels and dip them into a rotating weekly schmears. And that's a ritual that's become a cultural cue for the brand. But here's the tech twist. That ritual thrives because of digital storytelling, meme-worthy moments shared online, real-time feedback loops from guests posted to social networks, and scheduling of limited-run flavors that spark urgency and FOMO, that fear of missing out. They're not accidental trends, these things. They're tech-enabled consumer engagements. And they're functioning both as marketing and as insight engines. That's the trick. Marketing and insights. So when you think about the analytics and the franchise scale, Popup isn't just expanding, it's doing so with data insight baked into every step. Oh, you see what I did there? Franchise sales data can be centrally analyzed to benchmark performance across markets. POS trend data informs regional popular flavor profiles. Online ordering patterns help forecast peak days and staffing needs. Social listening tools measure buzz and sentiment by location, daypart, and promotion. This means the brand doesn't just open stores, it optimizes stores based on real patterns, not gut instinct. And that's a tech advantage, even if the technology isn't custom built. Popup has an interesting competitor that's on the move called Jeff's Bagel Run, another fantastic bagel concept that again, born out of the pandemic. Jeff made bagels, gave them away. Everybody loved them. He's like, screw this. I'm gonna make a bagel store. And all of a sudden he did. And guess what? This guy also has a flair for the tech. So he built his Jeff's Bagel Run. Is optimized across, uses homegrown technology, but does many of the similar things that Pop-Ups tries to do. So I want to talk about why Pop-Up, though, represents kind of this new category of a food brand. Because they're doing this when you talk about like the broader food industry context, Pop-Up Bagels kind of represent something bigger than bagels. What they represent really, and this is why I wanted to talk about this, is low complexity operational model. All right. This keeps shipment and equipment costs down. Everything is really bare bones here, guys. They also do digital demand generation, right? So when you have social and online ordering, you get this sustained buzz. Data-driven expansion decisions, right? There's minimal risk entry into new cities because they are taking all of this data, particularly from social and their online ordering, and they're making decisions based upon where the hype cycles are coming. You know, where are the data coming from? What is telling them what to do? Another thing is this idea of like a tech mediated guest experience. That means that the online orders are easy. It's real simple app engagement, and the updates are in real time. So this is what 2026, I think, food success looks like. Not shiny robots in the kitchen. No more fucking robots. Instead of the robots, which is ridiculous, and these stupid coolers on wheels that are going to go on the streets, which are, I'm sorry, a bit of a rant here. The first robot cooler that causes somebody to get into a car accident, or forces a pedestrian off the street, or knocks some person off a bike. All right. I know I'm supposed to be into technology, but I'm sorry, these delivery robots are fucking stupid. All right, next. But 2026 food success is not going to look like robots in the kitchen. It's going to use smart tech where it matters in customer engagement, data analytics, scalable systems. So what's the real driver behind the Bagel Boom? And yeah, you can say it was born from COVID, which is kind of cool. But it's not just that people love carbs. And guess what? I don't know if you saw the latest food pyramid, but it's flipped, which is good. I'm a fan of that. But it's not because people love carbs. It's because of brands that are innovating, like Popup. They're using technology, digital systems, platforms, and data to make bagels more discoverable, more engaging, and more scalable than ever before. So 2026, the future of food, I think, is less about reinventing the wheel and more about using technology to make something simple work spectacularly well again and again. So here's to it. I hope the pop-up bagel model, and not just because I love bagels, and there is a bit of nostalgia for me, and the fact that bagels are awesome, but the simplicity of them, the simplicity of it, the simplicity of the tech, the simplicity of the decision making, the simplicity of the food costs, the labor costs, the optimization, the scalability. This is why we're going to see bagels explode in 2026. And I hope we do. And I want more bagels. So this is Paul Molinari signing out. Restaurant stuff for you folks. Modern solutions for modern restaurants. Popcorn GTM. Hey, if you want to be on my pod, man, you got something that you want to say that's interesting? I'd love to hear from you. I love having technology guests, operators, anybody that's super interested in the restaurant space, that's doing cool stuff that you want to share. Hit me up at paul@popcorngtm.com or visit the website at popcorngtm.com. Thanks, guys. Have a great 2026. And I think I'm going to be doing more of these types of podcasts in the future, as opposed to, I'll have guests on from time to time, But I want to do pods that are interesting to me. And bagels, this is one of those stories. So thanks, guys. Have a great 2026. Signing out.